So I went on to Spotify, and there it was like Dermot Kennedy, Hosier, you know, like all these people. And I was like, you're such an idiot. Like, why are you even doing this? And then I went down and I was scrolling, and then I saw my name, and like, I was like, oh my God. But then like, what do you do? Because it's like 5:30 in the morning and I had no one to tell.
Yeah, exactly.
Inside, God forbid they might see or learn the truth about you and me. Of the night, because secrets are no fun if they can't be told. So go, even if it means you're no longer mine. I then in thinking that we'd reached the end. Our skin was smoother, our hair a different shade. Sometimes I still long for those days. Old now as you were then, and do your thoughts ever turn my way? And though I'm sure you roam with creatures anew, it was nice for a while to play pretend with you. Play again.
That really died, didn't it? It me. That was so lame, that brief period. Wait, did you ever say it me?
No.
You never used the it me sticker on Instagram? You never part of that?
Oh, I vaguely remember that.
Well, it me, it Kate Dineen. We're here on the Beardfire Podcast. Our very special guest today is Ms. Kate Dineen.
Hello.
Yeah, that's correct, I think.
Also, you're Rohan and I'm Al. We never actually introduce ourselves on this podcast.
Well, we just presume everyone
yeah,
knows
well, I mean,
who
they
we
should,
are.
but, you know, some people have been living under a rock.
Living
I
a
don't
rock.
know.
I've been living a rock.
It me.
I'm tired today, man.
Hit me. So, Kate, thanks for coming in. How you doing?
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So it's been a this year, I guess,
Crazy
2022. really cool year for you. Signed a deal with Winding Way Records in the United States, and you landed in some really cool playlists with your recent single Invest.
Yeah.
I've got all this correct so far.
You're not even reading it off anything today
No,
as well.
I'm
That's
reading
impressive.
it off the inside of my eyelids. But yeah, so this was part of this this raft of single releases. Started with Sorry, Invest, and obviously earlier in the year you had the thing with was this year
That
Good
was
Guys?
last year, yeah. So that was
Okay.
last October.
So what happened there?
Yeah, what did happen there? I suppose, well, you know that obviously.
I'll pretend I don't.
So basically, I hadn't really recorded anything in a while and probably had a bit of a like crisis of confidence. I took all my music off the internet,
Yeah.
as you do, you know.
Change your name, move to a different country. As
suck.
usual.
It's always a good move when you're a musician to just take down all your music. So
Yeah,
no one
yeah,
find you. And I kind of didn't do anything for a while. With lockdown, when lockdown hit, I didn't really play much or do much for a while, and then I started kind of songwriting again, and I got in touch with these guys, Beardfire Music. They said they'd record.
Start handing you €5 notes.
Thanks, guys. And I started recording. So I started writing, and then we started recording. Right, so we did 3 songs, I think, in the winter of 2020, and then
Was it only 3?
yeah, we did
Was
3,
there a
and then
4th?
another 3. Yeah,
5th and 6th.
yeah, we did
There's
3.
6.
Yeah, the 6 altogether. Yeah.
That's a
Wait
lot
a
of
minute.
songs.
Good Guys, Invest, Sorry, not Nightmare Creatures, Night Creatures.
That's a
Nightmare
PS1
Creatures is a
game.
video game. Burnout and Millennial.
That's the one.
Got it.
Yeah.
Man, look at Kate Dineen, #1 fan over here.
Oh yes, yes. I've got all the
Your
dolls.
Spotify rap's gonna be wild.
It's just 100% Kate Dineen. So yeah, sorry, completely cut across you there. The process, how
yeah,
this all
so we
came
did
about the
those
last little
3,
while,
and
yeah.
then I suppose I was working away, getting the artwork together, getting all the little bits, and I had this plan that I would record another 3
Yeah.
to do, and then that I'd have kind of my year sorted essentially for 2022. 2021,
Yes, that's
2022.
right. I remember this.
That would
Yeah.
have like a year of releases that I could just be working away on, and then in 2021. Radio Kerry had this Ireland Music Month competition, or every radio station
Everywhere
had it, right?
did. Yeah.
So it was with
It was
Hot
good. It
Press.
was part of kind of a lockdown initiative, was
Yeah.
it, or a post-COVID kind of initiative, or?
So I was really lucky that my song got picked on Radio Kerry as one of the kind of top 5 songs, and I got to do a bit with them, recording and stuff, and kind of seemed like a sensible idea to just release it like really quickly.
That's right.
So
yeah.
I just kind of put it out there into the world, and that kind of got the ball rolling then, I suppose,
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
And it did, yeah. You know,
Kinda
this is
ignited it, yeah.
this is the thing. For the first time, you were seeing streams kind of in the thousands and instead of in the tens. You know,
The
which
ones.
the ones
Like most of us.
like most of us. Frogmorton Cellar.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get it hit a K eventually.
We'll do a special, like, 10 plays video or something.
Thank you so much for those 10 people. You know who you are.
We actually do. We know who everyone is who listens to that band.
Dad.
Mom, Dad, you're amazing. Keep spinning it. Even they only span it twice each, you know. But yeah, it's and then so off the back of that, you know, I guess you started submitting your music to different industry people, and you ended up hooking up with Winding Way. So what's that
Yeah.
experience been like?
It's been great. Like, I mean, it's so good because when you're a solo artist, you kind of do a lot of stuff on your own, and especially I think a lot of stuff's in your own head. You know, you're kind of, and you kind of know what you need to do, but it's the pushing yourself to do it is often the
Yeah.
problem, because no one's obviously saying, okay, like you said you release this on 30th November and you haven't, you know, nobody
No one
nobody
cares.
But now
So if
someone
I
is
don't
telling
care,
you that.
then nobody cares. And like, it's nice to have people that are like, okay, well, we're going to do it by this date, and you know, this is how often you should be posting on social media. This is how often you should be just giving you that little bit of feedback and advice and stuff. It's not like they're forcing me to do anything, but it is nice.
No, but
to
even the
kind of have that,
motivation
like-
of just having someone
Yeah,
else kind
exactly,
of to be
someone else.
accountable to
No,
can
completely,
be
like-
a lot better than just, you know, making all these amazing plans in the middle of the night and then waking up and not doing
Never
any of
doing
it.
them,
Yeah. And in terms of, you know, like getting back out performing live and stuff after COVID, have you been doing much of that, or what's the story? What's the plan there?
Yeah, kind of doing bits and bobs, I suppose. I've been
Well, one thing I was going to say, sorry, is because obviously besides your Kate Dineen solo stuff, you're a member of the band The Crayon Set, who as well have been doing really well the last year or so. TV appearances, big celebrity, and all that kind of stuff now. And so, with regard to that, like, are you finding? Are you doing more live stuff with them, or more with your solo stuff, or what's the story there?
Yeah, we were lucky as well during lockdown that we got to do some recording down in Waterford in the Theatre Royale. So we got to play. We actually played a couple of venues around Ireland this year. We played in Dublin, Waterford, Kilkenny, Cork, which was really cool. So yeah, we've been kind of out and about them. And then myself, I've had a few gigs. St. John's in Listowel in Kerry, where I'm from, has been really good to me. They've had me down twice to play. And then just kind of playing around Dublin, kind of getting back even just to like the songwriting nights and stuff, just kind of seeing people again.
Well, yeah, well, it is. Nice. It's a strange experience to go out. You know, we've kind of gotten used to it again now with the rounders, but I remember the first couple of gigs, it was very odd.
It was so weird. It was like, wow, we used to do this
all the time.
It was like we were like an oyster without its shell, just like exposed to the world. Yeah,
and a tomato without its skin.
I think so, and especially when you're like doing stuff, you know, online, like people like read about it and they're like, oh, that's really cool, and they're kind of like, oh yeah, you know, but then you feel like once again like you're brand new almost, like when you're back out in front of people and you're like, I can't, like,
the world has changed. Yeah, we come out of the time machine into
but also, it's true. It's mad how. I mean, it was 2 years, so it's not that it wasn't a short period of time, but that it really does. Obviously, it's not like starting again, but it was pretty phenomenal feeling that kind of anxiousness of coming back out and doing gigs again. Oh my god!
Even just staying up past like 9 o'clock is
I know
a bit of a struggle.
It's a bit weird. So what was I going to say? So in terms of like next year and releases and things like that coming up, what's the story?
So I have Night Creatures, which is coming out on the 4th of January. And then I have Millennial, I think it's sometime in April, and Burnout, which is in June.
Yep. Yeah. So a raft of releases to look forward to there. And obviously the previous single, Invest, was kind of the first time you were hitting some of the Spotify editorial playlists. Yeah. So what was that experience like?
It was amazing. Like, it was just so cool. Because what happened was I woke. So my boyfriend Mark was really sick that day. It was like a Friday, and the song came out on a Wednesday. And the Thursday, I was like bawling, crying, like, what am I doing? You know, it had like 20 streams or something.
And he was just violently throwing up.
No, he was fine then. It was like, so basically, you know, it's kind of like having that crisis confidence again, where you're like, why am I doing this to myself? And why am I putting myself out there? And then he was really sick in the nighttime, so he was up at like 5:30, and I went to check on him. And I got back into bed and I was like, don't look at your phone. And then of course I looked at my phone. And there I was scrolling away. And then I got this Instagram DM and I was like, I was like, oh, you know, went in to delete it. And it was like, you're on New Music UK Friday. And I was like, Music UK Friday, that's a Spotify playlist. And I was like, no, that's not, you know, I'm not.
That's a scam or something.
Like, I was like, now he's gonna like pay me 500
€500.
Yeah,
you're a Nigerian prince. Well, let's skip to that part.
Skip to the part where you need my bank details.
Yeah. So then I was like, okay, and then I was like, then I couldn't sleep, and I was like, okay, well, I have to check. Is it there? Like, I have to just check. And I was like, don't be an idiot. Like, so I went on to Spotify, and there it was like Dermot Kennedy, Hosier, you know, like all these people, and I was like, you're such an idiot. Like, why are you even doing this? And then I went down and I was scrolling, and then I saw my name, and like, I was like, oh my god. But then, like, what do you do? Because it's like 5:30 in the morning and I had no one to tell.
Yeah, exactly.
So then I'd like...
Mark was sick.
Yeah. So then I just like lay in bed, and then I like went through all the, you know, went through it again and checked again, and then like...
Pinched yourself.
Yeah. And then I ended up like going to the gym at 7:30 and being like, can you check this playlist?
This is how traumatized we are by...
Do you believe it yet?
Yeah, like, do you still believe, or do you still have to go back and like...
Eventually they email you and they say like your song's on this playlist. Yeah, but it takes like it was hours later.
And look, that's... I mean, that's kind of... That's a really, like, it's a great story, you know, and it's really cool when these things happen, but isn't it mad, like, this kind of futuristic Logan's Run type post-apocalyptic world we live in, where it's like our emotions are so caught up in these things, you know, and it's tough, and it's and
it's annoying because like I'm so proud of that song, and like you know, it sounds great, like the production's great, like I love listening to it.
I wonder what. No.
But
We
like,
paid her to say that.
Again, I know more fire is coming your way.
Sweet. You know, the video is cool. Like, as in, it's something that I can really stand behind anyway.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you shouldn't need this external like,
Validation.
yeah, but like,
But it's pretty cool,
it's pretty
though.
good.
Yeah,
I think it
yeah.
just says like, you know, you kind of wonder. You're like, could I ever?
Yeah.
And then you're
that's
like,
it.
well, okay, I can.
Yeah, yep.
And it is, you know, and it is up there, and it is good enough, and it is okay. And it doesn't mean that it'll happen the next time, but it's like,
No,
just
it's
nice to
always
have,
it's
you know?
always nice when someone completely outside of your circle likes something just from listening to it, just from it being put in front of them, and it ticking enough boxes in their mood and look, of course, when it comes to Spotify editorial playlists and stuff, or radio DJs and things like that, it's an even other level, because these are people who are listening to a lot of music all the time, and they've got a very limited number of slots that they can select for. So it's a great thing, and you're right, it's hard, because all of us, yes, philosophically, the creation of the music and a few people hearing it and whatever, of course, should be enough, but and to feed that. But look, at the end of the day, whether it's fucking 100 people, 200 people who aren't your friends or family hearing your music and validating it in that way is such a cool thing. So here comes the next part, right? And you've kind of you're preparing for this, because we've seen this, with artists, with ourselves at different times. When you have something like that happen, and you have to do something else, you have to do another song, you have to put another song out, and you're kind of sitting there going, what if this one gets nothing?
yeah.
What if this one no one cares about?
Yeah.
And that's and we've seen it happen, and it does happen. It does happen. You might put out 5 or 6 things, and you get one that goes really well, the next one not so much, the next one hopefully goes really well, and and it's kind of like that. But we were discussing this before. You're preparing by creating some content, making sure that you have enough, that you're satisfied, that you can put out bits and pieces. How are you psychologically preparing yourself for the next release, knowing that the last one was such a high, I guess?
Yeah, it's tough, because I think as well, though, with that last release, I really let myself enjoy it. I think there's it's kind of funny, because say, for example, Good Guys, right? When that came out, I think it took me 3 months to hit my first 1,000 streams on that. And I thought that was like deadly. Like I was really happy with that. And Sorry took about a month. Invest took a day.
Yeah.
And like, it's suddenly you're kind of going, oh, I wish I had 10,000 streams. You know what I mean?
I know,
like,
it's so
suddenly,
funny.
It's just like,
It doesn't seem to matter,
yeah,
does
no,
it?
it doesn't
It
matter
never
what
does.
it is. I don't think
There's
it ever
always
will.
more streams to get.
No, the number is arbitrary.
Yeah.
But that is it. Just try and enjoy it.
So I was like, right, I'm going to take this day. I'm just going to be happy, because, 6 months ago, one day ago, if you told me that was going to be here, I would have been like over the moon and so excited.
Yeah.
And like, I can't already be kind of thinking of the negative and, trying to take it away. So, that was definitely a big part of the last one. So I'm like, okay, I know I enjoyed it and it was fun and that was lovely. And now, like, with the next one, I think, it's kind of the same process that you'll always go through. Just try and be as proud as you can of your song.
Yeah.
You're putting your best foot forward. You're doing what you can. And then you just have to keep kind of plugging it, because you never know, when, I've seen people online who released a song 3 years ago and they're still posting about it. And then suddenly, the right day or the right time or the right thing happens. And
Exactly.
Then
I mean,
song
people
blows
have
up, like,
written songs 50 years ago that have just gotten in an ad or a movie or something. And then, everyone goes back and listens to all their catalog. And so everything that you've created up to this point, even in 10, 20 years, it's still going to be there for people to discover,
Yeah, and like I think before I used to worry that like, oh, I keep talking about the same thing, like people are sick of me. But now I realize that actually nobody's watching.
No, it's much
even my
worse.
friends
That's the
are
good.
like,
that is the good and the bad news. Nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah. Everyone's not on your Instagram going, oh, there she goes again. And no, but it's like Al's saying there, like obviously this is a different kind of scale we're talking about, but like say with the Kate Bush thing with Stranger Things and that, like obviously that was a song, Running Up That Hill, that was already a hit in the 80s, so it's not like it came out of nowhere. But it's an example of a song that's in the ether. Yeah. Virtually no one gave it, other than Kate Bush fans, they'll listen for the past 20 years. Yeah. And then, there's this
and now
cultural...
everyone needs to hear it constantly.
Yeah, there's this cultural thing that happens where something that's massively popular in the now uses a song from the old days, and all of a sudden it's absolutely huge, you know, and it's true, like, again, different scale, but those things can happen, and that's the thing with music. It's not like making a piece of bread. We have to make it fresh every day. You make a song, it's there forever. And,
you might release a song and nothing happens, you know, in the initial kind of launch, but that doesn't mean that nothing's ever going to happen with that song as well.
Yeah.
So that's another way to, I think, kind of prepare your expectations for things. It's not a waste if you release something and nothing big kind of happens with it.
Mm-hmm. And so, okay, so that's Night Creatures, which is the song that people would have heard at the opening of this show. That's coming out soon. That's coming out in January. So I guess just in general, because like we'll start wrapping up fairly soon. Like, just what's your overall kind of what's your hope for the year? Or for example, again, just a kind of a fun question, like if you could, you know, do a tour or support with any artist, who would you do that with? That's more fun than what are you going to do next year? We can run through that.
God, that's a tough one, actually.
The Dublin City Rounder.
Get that show back on the road.
The Harbour Bar.
The Harbour Bar.
Double bass into say the pizza.
Driving down a highway with a double bass in the car and
the inability to
see out
see
of the
left or whatever it was. But seriously.
I don't know. My mind's gone blank.
Who do you like? Who are you listening to now at the moment?
That's alive.
That's alive.
Or dead.
With.
No, let's open this up. Alive or dead, any artist.
You can tour with a ghost.
You get to tour with them.
That would be deadly. Yeah, that would be cool.
What, a dead
A
person?
ghost tour.
Ghost tour. Ghost audience.
How does the ghost like play guitar?
Well, the same way ghosts play pianos.
Ghosts can play spooky piano. Well, listen, Kate, thank you so much for coming on the Beardfire Podcast. Everyone can text in who Kate should tour with when she figures it out. And we shall see you all again soon. Oh, tell everyone how to find you on Instagram and internet and stuff.
It's Kate Dineen Music. Instagram, Spotify, TikTok.
Oh,
Facebook.
you are on TikTok. Yeah, you still talking?
I am.
Nice.
Still talking. My teenage cousins tell me that they are too embarrassed to like my TikToks.
In case their friends see them.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, love it. Well, in that, go on and give some love to Kate Dineen's TikTok because her cousins won't. And thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks.
That's good.
Thanks for watching. Take it easy.